That was quite good, wasn't it?
That was good. Big week that I had last week.
Was it?
Yeah. I had a highlight. I'm just going to share straight from the top. Okay. So have you been following the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case at all?
Like, not intentionally. It's just over everywhere,
Okay.
and I end up getting sucked in.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I'm now a defensive legal expert.
Yeah.
To pair with my 16 units that I did at law school.
Yeah. Objection, hearsay, speculation.
Yeah.
Lack of foundation.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was watching the case and they were showing some of the text messages that Johnny Depp would send Amber Heard. And for some reason, for about 3 seconds in the trial, they had the text messages up, but they forgot to block out his number. And so I went back and I paused it and typed in the number, text the phone number. I just said, Johnny, ?
And one chance, bro.
And then no response, of course. And then I called the phone about 6 hours later, and it rang. It was ringing, picks up and goes, this number is no longer in use, and then hung up.
Wow.
So I thought for a moment I had Johnny Depp's number.
I thought for a moment you had Johnny Depp's number too.
Yeah.
But the moral of the story is?
No moral, just thought I'd tell you about it.
The moral is you didn't have it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
So that was a highlight of my week. What about yours last week? Was big for you?
Look, for listeners of this podcast for a little while now, will know our official headquarters are not BackChat Studios, but they are indeed a nice little nightclub we like to call Hippie Club.
Yeah.
Now, we had the Hippie 7 a few weeks ago for West Coast.
Yes.
Naughty boys down at Hippie Club, even though they've been locked away for 2 years. Quite a few of those guys single. But don't do that. Don't go out on an 8-day break. Don't do that. Club said maybe don't do that, but don't do that. Naughty.
Yes.
Well, you know what? I thought I better get down there and investigate things. So
course.
I went to Hippie Club Tuesdays last week.
Huge.
Yeah, went down there with a premiership team out of mine. We'll leave him, we'll remain him nameless.
Okay.
But we just thought, we were having a couple of beers and we thought, we'll just duck down to Hippie Club. So we went to Hippie Club on a Tuesday.
What else can you do on a Tuesday?
Mate,
Nothing.
There's nothing else to do. Look, some major highlights, still the same playlist that have been playing there for the last 15 years.
Yep.
The combi van DJ booth is still there. The carpets have not been changed.
Yep.
Most importantly, though, they still have a free sausage sizzle on Tuesdays.
Ooh.
You know about this, right?
Yeah.
So we go in there. There's no one there. And it's like 10 o'clock at night, which it's probably too early to be there. But there was one thing there, free sausage sizzles. I had 4.
4?
Probably overstayed my welcome a bit. There's no limit.
Of course.
Did your kids over there? You seen this free sausage sizzle? Does that perk your interest at all, Charlie?
Look, I love a sausage sizzle, so I might have to make the trip down.
You said you've never been to Hippie Club.
I have not been to Hippie Club.
You obviously told me that before.
I think, yeah, I must have.
Do you have an interest in going to Hippie Club?
Look, after what you've said about it, absolutely.
Where do you hang out? Like, where do you go?
I haven't.
You're a Scotch boy. You'd be down at the Mont, wouldn't you? Is that what you guys call it? Seriously, the Mont.
Haven't been to the Mont in years. It's been closed.
It's called the Claremont Hotel. That's probably why you haven't been to the Mont.
It's called the Mont.
The Mont.
The Mont.
They're redoing it. I think they're doing a beer garden.
A beer garden is just an outdoor area.
Well, yeah, but it's a nice one.
Welcome to BackChat. Here we go. At BackChat, _. You are with us, as always, backchatpodcast.com.au. You can find us across all socials. Welcome to the show. Dan is some sort of man today. He had a phone. He's got a brand new iPhone 12, no cover on it. I'll just get a comment on that.
I had a silicone case on it, and it's too hard to put in my pocket. Keeps sticking to the inside of my pocket lining, so I took the silicone case off.
He's a man. He's a man that lives on the edge of just the risky side of
life,
business.
Mate. Yep.
You can find us on YouTube. We'd love you to subscribe over there. Going along nicely, so you can watch or listen to this podcast. Our Patreons, our beautiful patrons. I know I stuffed it up. On Patreon, our patrons of the podcast, supporting us, been supporting us for a long time now.
Yeah.
Very, very first supporters of this podcast.
The grunt behind us.
We've got some beautiful VIP codes for you guys. If you'd like to get involved with that, we'd love your support, and we'd love you to get involved with the discount codes, because we've got discount code on whiskey. We've got discount code on whiskey, whippersnapper whiskey, best whippersnapper in the world, best whiskey in the world.
Yeah.
Best whippersnapper in the world too.
Yeah.
The best single malt whiskey in the world. They've never won one of those without BackChat on board.
True.
They have now, though.
Fact.
BackChat, Margaret River Roasting Co. Mm-hmm. So we got discount on coffee.
I've been loving it.
We got discounts on beers with Shelters.
There you go.
That was what you heard at the start of the episode. Nice little shelter opening up.
Yep.
And we've got a couple of other businesses rolling in with that. Just a nice little temptation there.
Okay.
So you can jump on board, be a patron, support the podcast. We'd love that. Big news at BackChat. Happened last week. We've gone to 4 episodes a week. You may have already have seen it. You may have already have noticed across socials or in our podcast feed, because nothing's really happened, has it? In terms of you can still listen to every show all the time, exactly where you've always listened to.
It's just more of it.
Just more. Mm-hmm. Monday is review of the round.
Yeah. That's a Shelter footy cast.
Yeah, that's thanks to Shelter. We get into it over on another set, which may or may not be just over there.
3 meters that way. Yeah.
And that's good. Mark Reddings and myself doing that at the moment, but could be a couple of other little special guests rolling through there. So
it's very fun. I actually listen back to it and enjoy it.
And you don't listen to BackChat back?
No.
Be honest, I don't either, because we've done it. So
well, we're saying it, yeah, but I produce that one and listen back, and it reminds me of all the great things that happened in the round.
All right, review on Mondays. Tuesday is BackChat. You're listening to this right now.
Right this very second.
It's out Tuesdays. By the way, you get preferential access as a patron.
That you do. As soon as I've finished editing it, goes up. Patron.
Okay, so that's on Tuesdays. Wednesdays is the guest. We've got a big one coming this week. We did Dennis Cometti last week.
Yep.
And I will say we have one of the Brayshaw brothers.
Yes.
It could be
any of them.
Andrew. It could be Angus. It could be Will, who doesn't play football. It could be Hamish.
He's in the army, isn't he?
Charlie was very excited when I said we've got a Brayshaw brother on the show.
Oh, it could be Andy.
It could be
Still
Andy.
could be.
Yeah, who knows? Excited.
So that's out on Wednesdays, and Thursdays is the preview of the round.
Yes.
So it's like the review, except it's before the round.
Mm-hmm. The following round.
You can get your footy fix. So you can get it all, same place. You don't really have to do anything. You can see it all where you get your podcast, where you watch us on YouTube. It's all there.
It is. We've made it that easy.
Big bloody news. Now, that's excellent news.
Great news.
Some not so excellent news. Alex Schofield and the Hot Guys team have dropped down a position in fantasy, 15th to 16th. Not a great week for the boys.
Ouch.
Bailey Smith didn't play, so I feel like without Bailey Smith,
the hottest of the hot guys,
the Hot Guys goes down a rung.
Yeah.
And Alex drops down. She's just outside the top 1,000 in the country. We're getting her on here though. We're getting her along. We're getting her along. 2 grand final tickets up for grabs here. Nathan and the primetime ball is still on top. Nathan's dropped down to 13th in the country now.
I was looking at the rankings though. There isn't much in it. It's very tight.
Yeah, like I said. And you know what's coming up?
By round.
Oh, you do know what's coming up.
Big round for a fantasy as well.
It's by rounds.
Yeah.
Plural. There's 3 of them.
There is.
So this is where you make or break your season right here, right now. Yeah.
Okay, so I've never done fantasy.
Okay. So there's 22 players every
okay.
week usually, right? Just give you a little synopsis. 22 players every week and you get all of those scores. In the bye rounds, you take your best 18. So if you have 22 that play on your field, you drop your 4 lowest scores.
Right, okay.
But it's very rare that you'll have 22 playing because so many guys are on the bye.
Yes.
So you've got to manipulate your team. You're trying to maximise each week. So guys with a round 12 bye this week, well, they obviously don't have a 13 or 14 bye. So they're kind of valuable because once you've got them in your team, they're going to just keep going after the bye rounds. But someone who has maybe a round 14 bye, not as valuable because you play them for 2 weeks and do you trade them out? Do you hold them? What do you do with them?
Right, I see.
All depends with the balance of your team. And you can make up big spots because, like I said, if you get 22 players on, you lose your 4 worst scores, suddenly your 30s and your 40s that you would have on there every week.
The Draconings of my team.
You are improving. I do appreciate the effort. So just pay attention over the next couple of weeks. It's going to take some time though.
Yeah.
You have to put some time into it.
All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump up serious spots.
Is Kat still last? I will just ask Kat. Is Kat the back Cats, are they still last?
No, not anymore.
You've moved up.
I've moved up. I've improved. I've done my trades. I've been very religious with keeping up on top of the news and yeah, I'm getting better.
We love that religious news. Yes. That's fantastic stuff. Very good, Kat. Okay, that's fantasy. Bye-bye. Can you give me that again? Wow.
Bit of vibrato. Do you like it? Yeah.
You did. Did you?
Mate, we've done karaoke down at the, was it Casabianchi?
It was very good too. Now, let's get into it. A guest a couple of weeks ago, this is our little whip around of content.
Yes.
Brad Shepherd.
Legend of the game.
Doesn't have his All-Australian jumper from 2020. So,
outrageous.
Legend of the game, disgrace of the AFL.
Yes, that's right.
So we've just done some. I just want. This is not in any way saying that we've found it, But I will say, we've done some digging around.
Yep.
The club's been trying to get it for 2 years. West Coast have been trying to access the jumper the blazer for 2 years.
Yep.
BackChat may or may not have made some inroads.
Found the hidden stash.
I will say to our listeners and watchers, there's not a lot of need to put the pressure on anyone because I believe I have the finger on the pulse. And when I say I mean BackChat.
Yeah.
We.
When
I say I mean we.
That's fine. It's not my own team.
Okay, very good. You're paying attention on the weekend to the Western Bulldogs v West Coast.
Oh, it was a must-watch game.
demolition.
It was a must-watch game.
101 points.
Yeah, I thought for a while, we might just get away with a 60-point loss. And then I looked up about 10 minutes later and it was, and then that gets to the point where I'm chanting for the 100 points because it's something about it.
Yes.
In that game, I'm going straight to it.
Yep.
In that game, I saw a rule that I hate happen. And it's not just because it happened against West Coast. Could have at this point, West Coast were down to 70 points or something. It was completely irrelevant to the game.
Although it does seem like it was because it happened to West Coast because you're a massive Nuffy fan.
Well, I was watching it. And this rule that's come up in the past, and I'm just like, I hate that rule. It's a dumb rule.
Okay.
The rule where a 50-metre penalty is given.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden there's a race between the person trying to get back on the mark.
Yes.
And the man who has the ball in his hand. And what happens is the guy with the ball in his hand runs as fast as he can to try and run into the person who's trying to get back on the mark to draw another 50-metre penalty.
Yes.
In this case, it worked successfully.
Alex Keith
is running, and if you watch it back, he's running. He's not even looking up to see who I'm going to pass the ball to. His constant focus is on Josh Kennedy and how can I make this guy who's on his last legs, if we're being completely honest.
Oh, whack, a friend of the family. Dad, you don't kill him.
He's in his last season. He's not a spring chicken anymore.
Not anymore.
You respect the hustle Josh is trying to get back on the
Do
mark.
you? What was Josh doing?
He's trying to just show a bit of heart. His team's down by 70 and he's,
He's a fast runner, Josh, and he wasn't running too fast in front of Alex Keith.
Alex Keith is looking at him, and then at the last probably 10 metres when he's getting close to the mark, which the umpires don't even know where they're going, to be honest, Alex Keith reaches out with the ball and hits Josh Kennedy with it, and it's like, oh, what the heck, he ran into me, and then draws another 50-metre penalty and does his second goal of the game.
Wow.
So he goes from fullback all the way up to the front. And
is your problem with the rule? It's not the incident.
No. The incident. Josh Kennedy gave away a second 50-metre penalty.
Yes.
It's in the rules. He did it.
Yes.
He made the mistake.
So you would like to not play by the rules? Or
no,
you would like the rules
I
changed?
want the rule changed.
You want a rule.
Because it's not common sense. No. And we talk a lot about common sense on this show. That if a rule, I like rules, I like rules.
Yes,
but if a rule is against common sense, he was not trying to make a play on the ball. He was literally trying to draw a foul.
Okay.
It was very James Harden-esque of basketball.
Okay.
The rule doesn't make sense to me.
All right. It's taken on board. We'll submit it to Brad Scott in the umpiring division. Should we?
Yes.
He would not have a common sense bone in his body, Brad Scott.
No.
Okay. Well, your case has been heard. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think you're on the money.
And I'm sick of I've tweeted about it.
Yeah.
A lot of people coming at me, Josh Kennedy's done.
You're blowing Twitter up.
But it's not about the Eagles or Josh Kennedy. It's about the rule. It's a stupid rule. It could have happened to anyone.
The way to get around that would be to tweet other things about other teams other than West Coast. Okay.
I did.
Very good.
I do.
I'm just making sure.
Sometimes I tweet about Fremantle.
Talking about Fremantle, if we're looking for a segue, I tell you what, did you say Fremantle or Flagmantle? Because listeners to this show would have heard us talk about it. I thought Fremantle could beat the Melbourne Demons this week, and they bloody did, Charlie, didn't they?
Oh, it was good to watch, wasn't it?
Was it exciting?
It was absolutely exciting. I arrived at the Eagles game, but I was watching the Freo game.
What was most exciting about it for you? Because I know, I went out on a limb, and it doesn't really matter if I get it right or wrong, but I got it right, just so we know. But I'm not a Fremantle fan. And I know there was a lot of Fremantle fans that did not have that belief. And I know you didn't either.
I didn't. No, I'll admit to it.
Who'd you tip, Charlie? Who'd you tip?
I did tip Freo.
No, you didn't.
No, I did. I'll show you my tips.
Do you tip Fremantle every week?
I do.
Do you?
This year I do.
What a legend. This year I do.
That's fair.
Okay, so you didn't have a lot of belief that they'd go to Melbourne and beat them at the MCG.
I was just worried, especially after the 2 weeks prior. And then I think you asked me the best part of it. It was the turnaround. It was because up until halftime I was really worried.
Yeah.
And we were down at halftime, and then they just switched on.
I said, I don't think there's been many times in my career that I've had a game like Fremantle Dockers players would have had on the weekend, which was this everything went right. They kicked 11 goals, something like that in the second half. Anything they touched turned to gold. Guys were crumbing balls with one hand.
Every little flick went perfectly.
That little Frederick,
that was awesome.
Frederick flick.
Yeah,
little Freddie flicky.
Flick.
That was a no, don't put that look in there. That was back to Schultzy. Jeez, he was good again. He's up there with one of my favourite Fremantle players. Right up there.
On the Shelter
shooter.
On the Shelter footy cast, we gave him this week
Yes.
the X Factor.
You got a slab
Player
of beer.
of the round.
You
He got a slab of beer.
If we had a slab of beer lying around, I'd probably give him one here too.
Yeah, that's
No, we
right.
don't. Well done, Charlie. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Have you booked your tickets to the grand final?
Not quite booked, but they're coming.
Surely.
Not a true fan.
Charlie's still trying to win the fantasy competition.
Yep.
Okay. Best, worst jumpers. Thanks to Sports Gear Australia, sportsga.com.au. This has been blowing up socials for a couple of weeks now. I do have to say off the top, this is my fault, but the only way that we can rectify this is taking advantage of this beautiful offer by Sports Gear Australia. They've given BackChat listeners and watchers 10% off anything in their store. BackChat 10 is the code. You jump onto sportsga.com.au. You can get player issued jumpers. If you're watching, it should be noted. We gave a call out last week or the week before. We wanted to see if there was any premiership merch from non-premiers.
Yes, that's right. So on the grand final day, obviously all the players walk around with the grand final hats on because they're the premiers, but they had to make hats for both teams.
Yes.
And Sports Gear Australia.
Yeah. Marshy and Crowe.
Crowe come through with the goods.
Yes.
We went to the PO box today, and sitting in the PO box, the BackChat PO box, is a 2005 Premier's hat of West Coast Eagles.
That's just a bloody...
That Sydney grand final that they lost, that's the hat from it.
All right, that's the sort of content you
they
can
get
over.
anything.
Yeah, they can literally
can get anything.
Sportsga.com.au, BackChat 10 will get you 10% off, and Patreon listeners, we got a little bit of extra discount for you over there.
Wow.
I won't tell you what it is. I won't tell you what the extra discount is, but there is some extra cha-ching.
Charlie, you know what? You could go get a 2013
just thinking.
Fremantle Dockers premiership hat.
Surely
they could
there's
probably
a
get that.
2013 premiership hat.
They'd have to have that.
That would be a dream
Guess
for me.
you're going to have to look at it, Charlie.
I will.
Find them on Facebook. Find them on Instagram, Sports Gear Oz on Instagram. Now, we've been doing the best, worst Guernseys in the competition. Down to the final four.
Yes, it was.
It's where the money's made, sort of.
Top four.
It's prelim final weekend. You can find this on our socials, on our story on Instagram. So you got to follow us there, and you can enter to win the winning best, worst Guernsey. The winning one, we will draw one person out of the very large pool of people that have entered.
A lot of entries.
And you will win the winning jumper. Now, the matchups were St Kilda stick figure v Bulldogs Marvel Thor.
Yeah.
Big matchup.
Yeah.
Really big matchup.
Yeah, huge.
Who did it?
Bulldogs Thor.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely took it to him.
Got to be favourites coming into the grand final.
That's true.
Bulldogs Marvel Thor looking beautiful in, very nice modelling by, really can't think of the Western Bulldogs player that.
Backline?
Really, mate.
You were so close then.
Mason.
No.
Ethan.
No.
It's something.
Yeah. Charlie, who's the guy that models it? Very handsome guy. He'd be in the hot guys team
Mason
for sure.
would. No, someone would. Someone Mason. That's two weeks in a row I've had an absolute butchering job. Please find me for that. You can find it in fines. We're going to be doing this shortly. Anyway, the second matchup. He was the captain of the team, by the way. He's premiership captain.
Yeah.
That's who we're talking about. Just Google that away, Charlie. If you can't, you obviously don't know. You would have jumped on the mic and shoved it down my throat. West Coast Ochre v Hawthorn Cross Stitch. Now, that's the matchup. We'll tell you who won in a second. But again, if you are watching on YouTube, you can see it. If you're not, jump onto YouTube.
Just look it up.
Look it up. Google BackChat, YouTube. Subscribe. Yes, Charlie?
Eastonwood.
I said everything other than what I needed to say.
You said Ethan. So you're close.
Sorry.
Ethan Steele.
Yeah, just find me, okay? But, people make mistakes. We just need to do that in life. That's how you get better. That's how you learn, Charlie. It's absolutely disgraceful by me. West Coast Ochre. We've had one bloody sent in.
Yes.
Another bloody listener. Not bloody. You're just beautiful listener.
Yep.
With a letter. Can I read it to you?
Read it out.
Because it's some. If you're going to send it, we're going to read it.
Yeah.
Handwritten letter.
Yep.
Now we're talking about it. Dear BackChat, the infamous Ochre Eagles jumper has earned its place in pop culture, like many iconic icons before it. The hypercolour T-shirt Masua sandals, and the fanny pack, just to name a few. Okay. However, it's never reached the dazzling heights of the aforementioned until now. With the timing of the discovering of this musty ochre relic in the back of my wardrobe and this unsung heroes mentioned on your podcast, there's only one place for it. I would like to donate this ochre jumper signed by another unsung hero. Rowan Bloody Jones is on there.
Huge.
We might have to get him on BackChat, I think.
Yeah.
To BackChat, where it can take its rightful position on the mantle of your set for all to see. May it be forever gone, but never forgotten.
Brilliant.
R.I.P.
Yes, very good.
Pour a little liquor out. With hopes and
pour it out.
dreams for a speedy Eagles rebuild and a return ticket on the Fremantle Express. Your old Matt
Choo-choo.
Cat. Thank you very much, Cat. Not this cat. It's another cat. It's a bloody beautiful thing.
Take a look. We're just in it, and so there's Rowan Jones' signature on it. Who was the other?
Glenn Jakovic is on there. David Wirapunda's on there. And
Yeah.
Mark Miranda. I'm telling you, that's about as good as it gets.
Yeah,
Rowan
yeah.
Jones, Mark Miranda signed Ochre West Coast jumper. And for that, it bloody lost. It lost the matchup. West Coast Ochre goes down to the Hawthorn cross stitch, which it's like a tartan.
can't believe
It's
that's-
like a tartan. It's
Yeah.
like a Hawthorn tartan jumper.
Yeah.
That's
I can't
the
believe it
matchup.
kept every matchup. I thought, it's going to lose this round.
Well, we'll see what it does in the grand final. Bulldogs, Marvel, Thor, V, Hawthorn, cross stitch in the granny. Find it on Insta, on our stories. Jump onto sportsga.com.au with a 10% discount code if you want to find any jumper over there. The boys will sort you out. Very much appreciated. Looking forward to the grand final this week. It's going to be
Huge.
big.
It's your last chance to enter to win one of those Guernseys.
That's right. Now, talking about last chances to enter and last chances to win and winning, if we can use that as a segment, BackChat bets powered by Bluebet. Now, look, I want to talk about it, but
Let's talk about it.
It started pissing me off
Yeah.
because it's not about winning the money. It's just about winning.
Yeah.
I retired
Principle.
from football. I used to be able to beat up on blokes. I used to be able to, punch on with Jordan to go in the goal square, make him, I'm his dad, that sort of stuff.
We've seen your 2020 highlights, mate.
If anyone wants to laugh, jump on the YouTube and find it on there. I don't get the competitive hit anymore. So you know where I put it? I put it into Bluebet bets.
Yes.
BackChat, Bluebet bets.
Yep.
And we started bloody well.
Yeah, we did. We really did.
Brayshaws for 50 plus, knowing that we had Brayshaw coming on. 50 plus touches for Andrew and Angus in Melbourne v Fremantle. They had 50.
Check.
They had 53.
Yep. Check.
Easy done. Jack McRae struggling in the West Coast game.
Third, I think he had 3 or 4 disposals in the first quarter.
He had 3 in the first. He had 10 at half time. He had 20 at three-quarter time. Needed 10 in the last. Had 10 in the last.
I saw a passenger play. I think he got 3 handballs in about 9 seconds.
It was going to be Bailey Smith, but in again, respect for our hot boys team, but Bailey Smith didn't play, so Jack McRae got the call up.
Equally, not as handsome.
Charlie Curnow needed him kick 3 goals. Did
2. It was 2.
goals. Did
He did.
kick 4.
Yeah, he did. Smashed it.
Pissed it in.
Yep.
So we're just rubbing our hands, going, "How easy is this?" Finally, we take down Bluebet.
Yep.
Dan picks Hawthorn to
Oh,
win between
come
1 and
on.
39. I certainly didn't pick him. Hawthorn to beat Gold Coast. They lost by 10 goals, mate.
Do you want me to tell you why I picked Hawthorn to win that game?
No.
Because you're the reason. That's why. Because on the Shelter
Hoover,
footy
thank you,
cast, found the reason. On the Shelter footy cast, when we do our tips for the week, you picked Hawks, and I thought, all right, Hawks can beat Gold Coast. And they didn't. They got smashed by a Gold Coast.
Just like the Bluebet bets, it's very important to understand when I'm doing things in the media or in live, sometimes I don't mean what I say. We may have cane corns coming up on the podcast, so I won't say too much. I'm not trying to do a cane corns. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. I'm not trying to say anything outlandish, but just sometimes things come out of my mouth that I don't mean.
Okay.
Hawthorn beating Gold Coast was one of those. I
Well,
should have told you.
told me off air.
Well, I didn't. And
Mate,
you've lost
before when I
us the
said...
bet. you've lost the opportunity to take
Yep.
down Bluebet, haven't you? Just a minute.
I'll wear it, sure.
Stay with us. Keep
Dave,
signing up. Have a bit of fun. You don't have to put a lot of money on it, but you can find the Bluebet bet on our BackChat socials, on Twitter, on the website, in our link tree, wherever you find it. We put it up every week. Have a bit of fun with it.
Yes,
But we'd like to fucking win, Dan, please.
we would. On last week's roaming,
Yes.
so not the week just gone, but the one before, after Fremantle were beaten by Collingwood, there was a chap at the end that just said these beautiful words that he said, we're struggling right now, blah, blah, blah. But it's, at the times like these, you remember that when you win, it makes it all that much sweeter. There's some very nice words from that gentleman. And it just makes me think about this moment of BackChat bets with Bluebet, that we will think about these times when we win, and you want to be involved in that. Yes. You want to be in the release of absolute elation and ecstasy of winning.
So he was actually speaking about BackChat instead of Fremantle, right, Charlie? You were there, Charlie. I mean...
Yeah, no, he said to me afterwards, that's about BackChat. I'm not talking about Freo here.
It's about Bluebet and BackChat.
Yes, that's right.
I don't go for Fremantle unless they win next week, which they did. And I picked it. You didn't pick it, did you?
Oh,
maybe we should have put that in the multi. Maybe we should have said Fremantle to beat Melbourne in the multi, Charlie. But you didn't think they were going to win, Charlie.
Absolutely.
I didn't back it in.
No.
Okay.
Biting my tongue.
That's enough. That's enough.
Yep.
Bluebet, we appreciate the support, but we will be taking you down this week. Fines. I say this every week, but this is going strength to strength, and I really like it. Again, another thing I miss out of my footy career is not being able to run fines. Well, I do now. It's bloody great. If you got someone to fine, you want to find yourself, you want to find someone on this show, you want to find one of your mates, you want to find random people, we'll take those too. You can jump on the website. There's a form. You can follow all our socials. You can get through there that way. We're going to be donating every one of these fines to charity. So we're going to find a charity. I asked for suggestions last week. Didn't get any. That's okay. You were too busy finding people because there's a lot of them that have come through. But we would like to identify a charity or some charities that we can donate this money to. So if you do have a suggestion, you can send it through to hello@backchatpodcast.com.au or follow us on Instagram. We'll chuck up a poll or a questionnaire during the week to get a charity or a couple of charities.
Or while you're finding someone, just chuck it in the body of the fine.
Like it. Let's get into it. Ant Highland. Who gets the fine? Me. Ant's fined himself.
Yeah, I like it.
Some of these names, though, you're going to have to jump in, boys and girls, if Moses lacks.
Yeah. I love a good Moses.
I get it. And Highland. I feel like this is one of them. It may not be. Yeah. Okay, $2 fine for myself for spending weeks building out an automated spreadsheet multi-machine only to not have a single collect on the weekend. Actually, can I grab that $2 back? Me Goreng isn't a special this week.
Yeah.
So I've seen this little multi-bet special.
I think we used that this week.
I think we picked Hawthorn because of it.
Blimey.
Nathan West. A big fine to Steve Bandy for calling Connor West, Adam Simpson. Fine to me for jumping to conclusions if it's not Thumper. Fine to the journalist for asking Connor West to take his hat off. So we've got a picture here in front of us.
Yes.
It's on the West Coast social page. I know Thumper listens. Steve Bandy, OG BackChat. What are you thinking here, mate? Adam Simpson is the little runner. It's Connor West. He's got a hat on. Fair enough for the journalist asking him to take it off because the shadow from the lighting covers his whole face.
Looks like he's just had a night at the hippie club. Which he didn't.
Hey, don't even put that out there, mate.
He didn't.
I just didn't know about it.
He's got a lot of shade on his eyes.
Okay, there we go. I'll accept that. Tim Mulholland fines D. Mull. What's so funny? Backed out of the driveway straight into my parked car, which in turn ripped off his back fender. He has then proceeded to blame me for the last 3 years for not telling him to stop because I should have seen it from the back seat. I love that. This is giving people an avenue.
Harvesting.
3 years in the making.
Yep.
Just a $2 there. Thank you very much, Tim. Nino Camrada. Can I get a Nino Camrada? No. Okay. I'm just going to do that when I think.
A lot of butts.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. This is, to me, perfect. In episode 52, Will makes a comment about Daisy Thomas almost having an asthma attack on the field due to his previous weight issues. But he has lost some weight now and he's looking better. Okay, good. $2 fine to me. That's fair enough. Oh, man, it wasn't having to go. Daisy, he was out. I'm sure he'd agree. He was out of shape. He couldn't breathe. Wasn't saying, look at him, he's out of shape and fat. I'm out of
There's a video of him playing with a microphone like a lapel on him.
Yeah, and he literally says the words, I'm going to have an asthma attack. I wasn't having to go, trust me. I know all about post-footy life and not being able to exercise. Ethan Rudd.
I did read this one earlier and I loved it.
So this is finding everyone not a Richmond supporter. I'm gonna total that up for $2 though, okay? So you're going to break that down. It's not $2 each, just a $2 total. Before 2017, I would get a text or you've read it before, haven't you? I would get a text or call from mates when Richmond had a good game, and even more when they had a loss, aka Ninthmond. But since 2017, not a whisper from anyone.
Love it.
Just so aggressive at anyone who's not a Richmond supporter. Absolutely love that, Ethan. Very good. Jay Driz.
Yep. Not safe.
Okay, who gets to find Andrew Vittolins. I believe Andrew was targeted last week as well. I'll tell you what,
times.
dig deep in those pockets. You want to read this one out for me, Dan, if you can read?
Fine Andy Boy, $2 for sending in the same questions to BackChat and the Duff and Quarters podcast.
Oh, no.
I'm sure if the Hardball Gets lads read out emails, Andy would send them the same questions as well. I then find Will, Dan and Co, as well as Duff and Quarters, for not realising, as they obviously aren't listening to other locally made AFL sports podcasts. Thanks, guys. Love your work. That's the second time he's been fined for that.
It
for
is.
recycling emails.
We appreciate you keeping everyone on the toes, Jay Driz. Very good. This one's from Jason Nelson, my brother in hospital. Thank you, Jace. Hopefully I'm filling in your time nicely. This is for confusing Mark Yates with Neville Bruns, with Dennis Cometti.
Yeah.
And that's fair enough. And it's exactly like today's podcast where I confused Mason Wood with Easton Wood.
Yep.
Should have just gone to the compass, shouldn't I?
Yes.
East, west, north, south. Anyway. Yeah, fair enough, Jace. Good on you. And then his son, Riley, my nephew. It's a family affair today. Oh, perfect.
Love it.
Finds Dan Const.
All right, Riley.
Well, you read your own one out.
Referring to the grand final as the Grandy.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a $5, Dan. I don't like it at all.
I don't think I usually do that, so that's outside of my regular vernacular.
So that's
I'm not saying I didn't. I know I remember doing it.
That usually
but
happens
it's odd.
when you're trying to, like impress people, be a bit ladsy. Yeah, they are the
Grandy.
Head down to the Grandy.
All right.
This is from TK. Do you think it could be? Couldn't be Tim Kelly, could it?
Could be.
Well, who knows? This is a fine to their father-in-law. He will know who it is when he hears this.
All right.
I love this.
Yeah.
My Italian father-in-law for not going to the doctor and instead using super glue to seal up a sore he has had on the end of his nose now for months. Furthermore, he miscalculated how much glue to use, so he decided to grab a small piece of sandpaper.
No.
What is going on here? And start sanding it back until it was smooth enough for his liking. Go to the doctor, you stubborn son of a bitch, and pay a $5 fine for your stupidity and stubbornness. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
What is going on
That
in the
makes
TK household? What is happening?
Grinding back his super...
I'm just imagining sitting watching the footy with a sandpaper out the nose, just...
The dust just floating through the
Is that
sky.
a bit of a fingernails on the whiteboard moment
that's
for you?
gross.
You don't like that at all.
No ways.
All right, this is from Benj Cohen. Finds his year 10 English teacher for wearing the same sweater 5 days in a row. Oh, boy. Benj.
I need to know how long ago this was. Is this 20 years ago?
$2 fine to the year 10 English teacher.
Yep.
Mr. or Mrs. whomever.
Yep.
But Benj, unfortunately, I'm going to fine you $2 for keeping track of what your teacher's wearing every day.
Sort of weird.
That's okay. We appreciate it. Very good, Benj. I like it a lot. Lindsay Dodd, who gets the fine, Dan. I'm going to read this out.
Yeah, go on.
If you're going to kick off the podcast with weekly trivia, an important element is it for it to be actually correct. That is kind of the point of trivia, Dan. Fitzroy won the spoon and flag in 1916, not Footscray, who didn't even join the VFL until 1925. You have a phone and Wikipedia. How dumb are you? I know it's confusing that they both begin with the letter F. So does fraud and flog. Oh my God. $2. Kind regards. Even a kind regards for you, Lindsay.
Kind regards.
Also says more back chat, better than ever. Brilliant, and thanks, boys. Yep. So a little bit of tongue in cheek. You happy to accept that?
I'll take it. I said the wrong thing.
How'd you fuck that up?
Two words that start with F.
So you just is that?
No, I just you know.
Oh, that's very good
I'll
stuff.
just cop
Lindsay. Hamish, absolutely will. Hamish Robson finds Dan. Bit of action for you. It's about time, if I'm really honest. There's been a lot of scoey love or hatred. Hey fellas, $5 fine. I just will say, calling out your own fines, I appreciate it, but I will be the final fines master. So if I don't appreciate it, I'll either put it up or put it down. $5 fine for myself, fair enough, for rambling on my last email. Yes, correct. Very good, Hamish. $5 fine for you. $2 fine for Dan for not being able to pronounce...
Go on.
LA, which is pronounced LA.
I kind of remember doing this.
So...
It's in the Montreal Canadiens one last week.
So it's...
Come on.
Can you read it? What does it say?
Well, okay.
It says Alès.
Alès, right?
Right.
I'm sorry I don't speak French Canadian.
I wish you had just finished at Canadian just then. I'm sorry I don't speak Canadian.
Canadian
speak English.
LA.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't know.
I'm probably getting a fine for saying
apologies.
Canadian speak English. Probably. Yep. I don't know. It's probably wrong. Anyway, Sam Harrison comes in with Will, comes at me with a $3 fine. I like the $3. I don't see a lot of $3 fine. $3 fine for Will for charging $65 on Cameo for a video.
Steep.
What a shock I received when a mediocre premiership player was charging a small fortune for bugger all. I could become a Patreon for the pod 13 times for the same price. All jokes. Love you, Will. Nah, you know what? Fair, Sammy. And you've said $3. I'll even knock it back to $60 for you. I give you a $5 discount, $5 fine for me.
Yep. All right.
So now it's $60.
Yep.
Get on there and buy one, Sammy, you tight ass. Okay. Alex Schofield, my wife.
Yeah, just getting on the fines.
Who gets the fine? Whoever fined me. Explain what. Okay. So I'm a bit slow on listening and have just heard on episode 51 that someone fined me questioning Bruce appropriation, in my fantasy Hot Guys team, Will Wishes, a.k.a. Hot Boys team. Mm-hmm. I would like to respond. Unfortunately, AFL Fantasy does not work the same as the All-Australian, in which I can place whatever player I like in whatever position. I choose... a little bit of whack.
Yeah, a bit of whack.
A bit of a drive-by for the All-Australian selectors, okay. I chose not to have selection limitations. In saying that, shocking punctuation. Really bad. I'm actually quite disappointed in you, Alex. In saying that, Bruce has extremely hot arms that qualifies him to hot guy status. So, old mate that fined me, that is $2 for questioning me and my taste. Also, just to clarify, if I win the tickets, you are correct, babe.
Will.
You aren't, Will. You aren't coming with me. I'm feeling a wild girls' weekend. Okay, a couple of clearances here. $2 to old mate who fined Alex. $2 for Alex for writing the worst fine of the week. No punctuation, and honestly, it was a roundabout beat up, and it's the longest one there. I hated it. And $2 for calling me babe. $2 for me for reading myself as babe.
Yep.
Are we all done there?
Do you know what that fine looks like? It's like she was
Piece
driving along and she just wrote it on with Siri.
Thanks for the Siri message. 2 to go here. Pablo Fildez. Who gets the fine? Got to read it out, mate. Dan the pussy. It's written like that as well.
It is.
The pussy.
Love that. Yep.
He tweeted, "Darling is back. Eagles are back. Flaggles 2022 during the second quarter when down by 5 goals." Then he deleted it almost immediately. I saw it when I tried to comment. It was deleted. Fine me too because I should have screenshotted it first. $2 to Pablo. I give you a right to respond to this one. Please explain.
Okay.
It's not a right to respond. It's a please explain.
Yeah, it's a please explain. Okay, sure. West Coast, Western Bulldogs. Darling kicks 2 goals. And a bit of tongue-in-cheek, I tweeted, Darling is back, Eagles are back, Flaggles 2022. It was a joke. And I also tried to tweet a photo of Jack Darling. So I tweeted it. And then I went back to look at the tweet and the photo wasn't there. So I thought I'll delete it, retweet it, and then in that time of me deleting it and tweeting it again with the photo, I thought, it's not actually that funny, and I left it deleted.
$2 for the pussy. Dan and the man from Montreal. Okay, fine to Dan for pretending he didn't just hear Dennis tell him that Coca-Cola was located in Atlanta.
I remember this, yeah.
I don't remember it. That's great. He just acted innocent as if he had come up with the information himself. Outrageous. I'll pause there. Explain.
So Dennis is saying, so Coca-Cola is the headquarters. Atlanta is the headquarters of Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And then he starts to tell the story, and then he sort of sidetracked for like a minute, and then goes, "Do you know where the headquarters of Coca-Cola is.
And I wasn't listening.
And you weren't listening properly. And I went, oh, Atlanta. And he was like, well done. Like as if I just knew it. And I just claimed it.
$2 for you. That is very good. No fights for Charlie or Kat this week. I am disappointed in that, Charlie. I'll just let you know. Also, off the back of the gentleman's email from Montreal, fine to Le Habs, aka the Montreal Canadiens, for making the NHL final round last year and finishing dead last this year. Let's go Oilers.
Yep.
A bit of NHL chat.
Love to get around it.
All right, that was very good. Very good stuff. If you want to send us a fine, jump on through our link tree in any of our socials, or you can jump on the website, backchatpodcast.com.au. There's a big ass button that says Fine Charlie and Kat.
Yeah.
All right. You send it. You want me to sing it? You send it.
We read it.
Okay, very good. You send it, we read it. If you want to send us something, we will read it. The fines, I'm committing to it at the moment. I haven't left any out. But if you write something offensive or you write something derogatory or you plug something too much, we do have some right of discretion there. With you send it, we read it. If you send it,
we will read it.
hello@backchatpodcast.com.au. You send us an email, we will read it out. Let's go.
Okay. First of all, team, love the podcast. Really look forward to the episodes each week. Actually, do we say who it's from? It's from Ryan and Nicole. Okay.
Oh, bit of a joint email.
Yep, there we go. So love the podcast. Really look forward to the episodes each week, and have even got my wife onto listening with me. It's great for a expat, West Coast Eagles supporter living in Queensland. Really enjoyed the recent pod with umpire Dean. Gave terrific insight into that side of the sport. I must admit, I knew almost nothing about it.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, no, great. Nothing about it was very enlightening.
Almost knew nothing about it was very enlightening. Well, yeah. You're
misreading people's emails. Please continue.
I'm making it fluent. I was excited to hear about you guys floating the idea for more beers with BackChat.
Yes.
My wife and I, as Eagles fans, loved the way you played the game, Scully, playing for your team and never letting them down, and loved the mongrel you brought on the field. Loved it.
Good.
Lots of exclamation marks.
Yep.
And caps.
Thank you.
My wife and kids are coming over to Perth in July for 2 weeks. I have not been back in 10 years and excited to show my 2 kids where I grew up. What are the chances you could arrange the Beers of BackChat for dates between the 19th to the 29th of July? Ooh. I know, cheeky, right. Otherwise, any chance you guys would consider a beer or whippersnapper whiskey with us while we are in Perth? I'm keen to try out this, the whippersnapper whiskey. Regards, Ryan and Nicole.
I'm very keen for all of this. Mm-hmm. Beers with BackChat, whiskey with BackChat.
So 19th, that's in about 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
Is it ringing any bells to those dates? Look, we're not going to be away, but we're also going somewhere to get some beautiful content for you people. We may or may not be in WA in those dates. Maybe the back end, back weekend.
The back end, yeah.
It can be done. It can be organised.
Do you know what?
Talking about beers with BackChat though, yeah.
I was going to say, at the end of that week.
Yep, that weekend.
That we come back. Is that...
Could be done. Is anyone interested?
Still maybe that Friday.
If anyone's listening, wants to come with beers with BackChat, we do have a beer sponsor.
True.
Shelter, Beers with BackChat. Could find a venue. Could have.
All right, let's do it.
Beers with BackChat.
Charlie?
Thank you, Charlie. And we're yelling out at Charlie because we asked Charlie to write down things that we say we're going to do on this podcast and then never do. And last week we said we would print out photos and sign them for all our patrons. It's happening. Just want people to know it's happening.
It's definitely happening.
Okay, next email.
Okay. This is from Hamish Robson, A1 vasectomy letter.
Right.
Okay.
This is from a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Hey, legends. Love the podcast. Thanks for the weekly entertainment. Here's the photo of my mate Paul, who got the fine for printing out his vasectomy referral letter in A1. Oh. Do you want to just rehash the fine?
Yeah. So old mate. I don't think he's. Say his name. Old mate Paul has gone to print out his vasectomy letter to head down to the vasectomy clinic to get the snip. In case you don't know what that means.
Yes.
And instead of hitting A4 on the private printer, he's hit A1
the brother, 2222.
He's hit A1 on the full staff printer, and he's printed it out in mega pint size.
Mega pint. I love that. He's also one of Dan's OG fans. Keep up the great work. Regards, Hamish. Oh. So then there's the photo of him holding this giant referral
it's as big
letter.
As his torso. That's how big it is.
Yeah, that's right.
But there's also a photo. This is one of the first fan photos that Dan's ever had. Fan photos with Dan.
That was one of the best nights of my life. That was when Verstappen beat Hamilton at
I thought you were getting a photo with these
oh,
boys.
and those guys followed up with some, of course, at the end, at Crown.
Oh, that's special stuff. Memories.
Yeah.
The memories. Okay, next one.
Okay, this is from Tay Phillips. You sent it, we read it. Fox Footy Simulcast.
Okay, now I'm interested.
Hey, boys. Actually, do you know what? Can you read this one? Because I've got a response. I've been doing a bit of digging.
Hey, boys, I wanted to get your thoughts on a long-standing bugbear I had with Fox Footy displaying the score simultaneous games in the bottom right-hand corner. Why? Can you help me? That's what it says, Charlie. Don't laugh. Can you help me understand why this in any good way is helpful for fans? I try to watch all 9 games each weekend, and if I know the result, I'm instantly turned off the prospect of watching another game. Displaying the other score literally stops me from watching more footy and viewing more of their sponsors, etc. I have my toddler's picture book leaned against the corner of the TV to cover the score. Will, you have direct connections here. Can you find out what is going on? Don't be an accomplice. Please champion the cause. # remove the score. Cheers. Taser.
All right, Taser.
I know this is commonly... I know someone who's quite prominent here in Perth media does the same thing. You got a response, Dan?
Covers the score.
Yeah,
Yes.
they have a little picture frame, exactly the same.
It reminds me of this isn't my reply, but it reminds me of Dennis Cometti going, if you don't want to know the scores, look away now.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, like half time, and then
they played a little jingle music in the background.
Yeah. Okay, so Taser.
Which they don't do anymore. That's
They
a
don't.
good point.
Taser, I did some digging about this. So we have a contact at Fox Footy that literally puts the overlays
Oh, did you speak to James?
on the screen.
Oh,
No, Josh.
okay. Should we be keeping you masking
No,
your
no,
identity?
Josh. His name's Josh. Okay, so I
We'll,
said...
we'll call him Mr. J.
I sent his name. You sent it. We read it to Josh, and I said, "Hey, mate, I know part of your job is literally working at Fox, wherever they produce this from, and you put things up on the overlays."
The
on
reason
screen.
we know about this is he contacted you and I about. So I works with Fox Footy on the weekend for the Western Bulldogs West Coast, and it says Will Schofield, 2018 Premiership player.
Yes,
he had mooted that maybe he might write Will Schofield loves filet fishes.
Yes,
and he sent it to us both on social media.
Yeah,
and I said, "You're a pussy."
Yeah,
you should have done it.
Yeah, would have lost his job. So
anyway,
he didn't.
what did
Good
he say?
So I sent this email. He said, I kind of agree with him. But the score doesn't actually come from us at Fox Footy. It comes from Master Control in Sydney, the ones that organise the ad breaks. So we have no control over it. But yeah, I do agree that it's not great for people who don't want spoilers. They should just have an option to hit a button on the Foxtel remote that removes the score. There you go.
So we've been championed as finding Brad Shepherd's All-Australian jumper. Should we also champion ourselves as...
It's not going to happen.
Don't tell
Sorry,
me.
okay, yeah, okay.
Don't tell me it's not going to happen, mate. You don't think I can't get this to happen? Is that what you're saying?
Let's try.
I think we'll try. I think we'll give it a try. I agree with you. It shouldn't be on there. I would rather Dennis Cometti voiceover, and if you don't want to know the scores, look away now. Yeah, that's very good.
I said thanks, and he goes, if there's other Fox or TV related questions, I'm happy to be your man. So it looks like we've got
great. I love that.
We've got a guy.
We got a guy. We got a proper guy. All right, last one.
Let me just change
Luke
tabs.
Coates.
Luke Coates, Beers of BackChat, hello _BackChat_. I am a long-time listener, first-time sender.
You know why?
Thank you for the effort.
He puts in the underscores.
Love it.
We know.
Just a quick one for you. What is the chances of hosting a Beers with BackChat episode slash session? Sorry, it's a hard one. Episode / session, whatever it would be, classed as in Melbourne. I understand you guys are in WA and it's easier for it to happen over there. Just a query due to myself and maybe some other listeners being in Victoria. Cheers and beers and PS up the Sainters.
Oh, I love this, Lukey. Look, going to be honest, we just mentioned it. Could be coming to Melbourne in July. Beers will being had. There will be the BackChat crew there. Have we made it official yet? No, but there will be beers and there will be BackChat.
Yep.
So I don't think it's that hard of a link to put them both together.
We could just text you a bar that we'll be at.
I do wonder how many listeners we do have in Victoria. Let us know. Maybe we can put someone up in our stories. Where are people listening from, Charlie? Where are they actually tuning in
Would
from?
you come along to Beers with BackChat in Melbourne? If that was a thing.
I would.
I would. That's two of us.
Charlie, Kat, anyone want to come along to Beers with BackChat in Melbourne?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, Kat's in. Okay, 4. Perfect.
It's 4.
All right, 4's
Sammy will probably be there.
Four's a crowd?
Indy.
No, 3's a crowd. 4's a...
Good time.
That is how we finished this episode. Absolutely beautiful stuff. You done?
Yeah.
You happy?
Yep.
We got Hamish Brayshaw coming up. Sorry,
Hammer time.
No Andrew, no Angus, nothing coming up. But we're going to see you tomorrow, and we'll see you Thursday. We do 4 times a week here on BackChat now. You want to get in touch with us, hello@backchatpodcast.com.au. You can find everything you need on the website, backchatpodcast.com.au. Sign up as a patron on Patreon to support the podcast and receive discounts for all of our guys who support us, who are Whippersnapper Whiskey, Shelter Brewing Co., Margaret River Roasting Co., who have got some bloody good coffee, I got to say.
Yep. You and I, when we work down here in the garage, drink several of them.
That's why we're still awake right now. Cameo Australia, they bring you social media. That'll be with the guests, but you can get a $65 video of me, or about $5 for Dan.
Yep.
And we're done. We're dusted. That's it.